4th of July, driving down the road and moving the backhoe from one farm to the other. Just wanted to say something like, put something up, wish everybody a happy 4th of July, and hope everybody remembers what it's about. Anyway, just enjoy the ride. There's the bike riders that inhabit this place. Pulling over, letting some cars pass. interesting history. Can't really see it, but under that bush is kind of a covered stone cistern for water. And right over there, and there used to be a house near it. Some couple owned both sides of the road, and their house burnt down, but they had chicken coops in the front yard where that house is now. So they lived in the chicken coops for years and years and years. And the odd thing was they had money. The guy was successful, you know, farming, but they never bothered. They just fixed up a chicken coop, you know, a little square box chicken coop, and they walked across the street every night, you know, every day, got their water that they needed. He did his thing, and from what I understand, it was like the early 60s when their house burnt down, and they lived in this chicken coop with a wood stove, carrying buckets of water across the street with an outhouse until probably the late 70s, when they died of old age in like their, you know, late 80s, early 90s or something. And then their kids, you know, they actually had kids, and they sold the place, and somebody bought the property with the one side of the road and just kind of held on to it and hunted there and did cut down trees and sold logs from time to time. The other side was, for the most part, just developed. There's a bunch of houses in there now. But I guess the guy and his wife died with like 100 and something acres. And at the time when they died, it was probably worth, you know, $3 or $4 million bucks. But right up to the end, they lived in the old chicken coop. And from what I remember, they thought everybody looked down on them, so they weren't really very social. They just kind of kept to themselves and lived the way they lived. And had an old pickup truck that they go to town and get whatever they needed in. And that was it. But there's a little odd story about, you know, way back when. Back to the road. This is my mother's driveway. That's my mom's house up on the hill. That's her pond. That's the garage. Years ago, there used to be a baseball field there, and Little League used to practice. Then when my grandfather got tired of people parking all over his yard and leaving garbage on the ground, so he shut the whole thing down. But when I was a kid, there was still the backstop and the bleachers and benches and everything. It was pretty neat, but yeah, it's one of those things. People kind of abused it, and he got tired of cleaning up after them. Now we're going into the back way to my sister's horse farm. And there's a manure dumpster that I got to pack down with. That's why I went and got the backhoe. But I'm not going to be able to do that and hold the phone at the same time, so I'm going to shut it down now. You all have a good 4th of July.